Viral images that sparked a national outcry against a local teenager. A new documentary examines the mayhem on social media after Nicholas Sandmann came face to face with a protester in Washington 2 years ago. Local filmmakers Steve Oldfield and Ryan Anderson spent more than a year researching the incident and the aftermath. And Steve is with us this morning via Zoom. Good to see you, Steve. So you're a you're a Northern Kentucky guy, journalist for many, many years. You've talked with many of the players involved in this. What was your goal in making this documentary?
That's a great question. I was just so shocked that people, many adults even, were so quick to rush to judgment in this case and to assume the worst and to share the worst things they could possibly say on social media. So our goal is to A, tell what really happened, because a lot of the stuff we uncovered was never reported anywhere, and B, to have people think before you're going to say something really awful about somebody, before you're just going to knee-jerk reaction and tweet something out, investigate it, see what really happened. And that goes for news media outlets too. For the record, I thought Local 12 did an excellent job on this story, but a lot of other media outlets, including big-time networks, just retweeted, reposted things without even doing any research.
Yeah, thank you for saying that, because we work very hard to do what we do. And unfortunately, sometimes we get grouped in with some of the bad actors. But, you know, it's not just a documentary about Nicholas Sandmann. You talked with other students and moms and dads whose families went through being harassed and being threatened. They got death threats. Their information was exposed all over. How did that affect local families?
Boy, well, you know, I think the easiest way to answer that is to tell the story of Michael Hodge. Michael Hodge wasn't even in Washington for the March for Life. He was a Covington Catholic student. He was home because his family was getting ready to celebrate his brother's wedding that weekend. And with the way the internet works now, they were driving to the wedding. His mother picks up her cell phone. There's a woman she's never met who's somehow tracked down her number, screaming at her and saying, "You should have aborted your son. What a horrible human being he is." That night, the police had to stay in their driveway because they received so many death threats, like 7,000 angry messages on Twitter. He wasn't even the right boy in the video.
It's unbelievable.
Another boy, it's horrible, yeah.
You also talked with journalists and talk show hosts. Why do you think legitimate news outlets so quickly jumped to a conclusion and A, decided this was a story, but B, decided a piece of video was a story without looking further?
It's a great question. I would just say that every news organization out there now, if something is viral, they somehow think that that's news. You know, and we see everywhere, even network newscasts now, if a cat does something cute and 1 million people watch it, it's going to end up on the evening news. So this became a viral video, and all of these people within, as they call it, the Beltway in Washington, they all just retweet what the other one says. So once the Washington Post said it and once CNN said it, that legitimized the whole thing, and people were more than quick to share misinformation that was detrimental to not just to Nick Sandmann, but to a whole group of kids and their parents.
Well, I know you did the bulk of this project without Nick Sandmann and his family. After he settled some things in court, he was able to talk to you about it. What does he take away from all of this?
You know, I will tell you this. Ryan and I spent a whole year working on this before we ever got to talk to Nick and his dad. And when we finally got that interview, I turned to Ryan and I said, "I'm so glad we did all this," because he's truly a terrific kid, a great dad. He wants to go into politics. He wants to work as a lawyer and to fight for free speech issues and to fight for civil discourse online. He's become a real advocate. And he was a quiet, shy kid. He was on the tennis team in the mock trial competition at Covington Catholic. He was not, you know, the football player, the big guy that everybody knew on campus, and he was kind of thrust into the spotlight, and he has embraced it.
Wow. Well, we wish him well, and I hope a lot of people will watch the documentary. Your website is rushtojudgmentdocumentary.com. We're also going to put it on local12.com. Steve, I'm so happy you were able to take time out for us. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Great to see you, and we really appreciate the support of Local 12. Thank you.